What's up, everyone? Today we're reviewing the ASUS ROG Strix G16, model G614, JV-IS96, the upgraded i9 plus RTX 4060 version in Eclipse/English Gray. This is the classic Strix, bold RGB, high refresh display, and legit cooling. I'll cover specs, display, performance, battery, cooling, ports, and the rest of the nitty-gritty before the final verdict. Let's go. Quick specs to set the stage. CPU, Intel Core i9-13980HX, 24-core/32 thread, up to 5.6 GHz. GPU, Nvidia GeForce RTX 4060, laptop GPU up to 140 watts, 115 watts plus 25 watts dynamic boost, 8 GB GDDR6. RAM, 32 GB DDR5, 2 times SO-DIMM. ASUS sheets list up to 32 GB on many SKUs. 2 slots are present. Storage, 1 TB NVMe SSD, 2x M.2 slots PCE. Display, this unit, 16-inch WUXGA, 1920 by 1200, 165 Hz, 16 by 10, IPS level, anti-glare. There are QHD plus 240 Hz variants too. Battery, 90 watt-hours. USB-C charging up to 100 watts supported. Wireless, Wi-Fi 6E plus Bluetooth 5.3. Webcam, 720p HD. Keyboard lighting, typically 4-zone RGB on Strix G. Some regional SKUs list per key. Dimensions and weight, 354 by 264 by 22.6 to 30.4 millimeters, approximately 2.50 kilograms, 5.5 pounds. The panel here is the 16-inch 165 Hz WUXGA 1920 by 1200 option 1610 aspect IPS level. Expect buttery motion at 165 Hz, solid viewing angles, and anti-glare finishing so lights don't nuke your visibility. Retail sheets peg this config at around 250 to 300 nits brightness with 100% sRGB coverage, which is fine for gaming and everyday content work. For wide gamut color or higher brightness, the QHD plus 240 Hz Nebula SKU is the upgrade. Also note you get a MUX switch with Nvidia Advanced Optimus and G-Sync support, so you can run DGPU mode for max performance, or let Optimus save power on the go. With the i9-13980HX plus RTX 4060 up to 140W, this Strix comfortably targets 1080p/1200p high settings in modern games. Typical RTX 4060 laptop averages hover around approximately 90 to 120 frames per second at 1080p or high or ultra across big titles, and 60 to 80 FPS at 1440p high in many games. Esports shooters easily spike well above that. Flip on DLSS and you can push settings harder while keeping frames smooth. Obviously, exact FPS depends on the game and your cooling/BIOS profile, but the 4060 here is no slouch for 1200p. On the CPU side, the 13980HX rips through compiles, Blender, and heavy multitasking, and the chassis cooling, we'll get to it, lets the chip sustain high clocks longer than thin-in lights. You've got a 90 watt-hour pack. In mixed-use WebDoc streams on iGPU Optimus, expect several hours gaming on the DGPU will still drain fast, think 1 to 2 hours depending on settings. The nice touch is USB-C charging up to 100 watts for travel or light work. Not for full gaming, but great for topping up. If battery life is your #1 priority, a Zephyrus-class machine will last longer. But for a performance chassis, this is on brand. Cooling's a highlight. The Strix G16 uses ROG intelligent cooling with a tri-fan design, multiple heat pipes, liquid metal on the CPU, high-density heat sinks, and larger intake exhaust cutouts. In practice, lower fan noise at equivalent temps and better boost sustain under continuous load versus older dual-fan designs. Thermal mode, silent performance turbo manual, and Armory Crate let you dial behavior per game or app. Port selection is gamer-friendly and, importantly, left side I/O for the big cables. Left, Thunderbolt 4, DP, USB-C 3.2, Gen 2 DP plus power delivery plus G-Sync, HDMI 2.1 FRL, 2.5G RJ45 LAN, combo audio jack, DC in. Right, 2 times USB-A 3.2 Gen 2. No SD card reader, plan a dongle if you shoot on camera. Build and looks, signature Strix aesthetic in Eclipse/English gray with an RGB light bar up front. Chassis is sturdy for a performance 16-inch, and at Washa 2.5 kilograms, it's luggable, but not ultralight. Keyboard and trackpad, full size with 4-zone RGB, some regions show per key on certain SKUs, firm actuation, and a big glassy touchpad. DPSUI.com, Gejals audio and mics, 2-speaker system with Dolby Atmos, smart amp, and 2-way AI noise canceling on the mics. Good clarity for streams and calls. Webcam, 720p. Fine for calls, streamers will still want a dedicated cam. Wireless, Wi-Fi 6E plus BT 5.3. Great if you've got a 6E router. Upgradability, easy access to 2 times SODIMM and 2 times M.2 slots. ASUS spec pages list 32 gigabytes max on some configs, though the platform often runs 64 gigabytes in community tests. Your mileage may vary. Power brick, commonly 280 watts on the 4060/i9 combos, plus USB-C 100 watt support for travel. The ROG Strix G16 G614 JV-140 W Class 4060 performance, serious cooling, and useful ports. Downsides? 720p webcam, no SD reader, and it's not featherweight at approximately 2.5 kilograms. If you want max frames per dollar in a 16-inch chassis with legit thermals and upgrade paths, this is a super solid pick. Creators who need brighter, wider gamut color should consider the QHD plus 240Hz Nebula panel option. That's the Strix G16 G614 JV-IS96. Questions? Drop them below. I'll pin a comment with game-by-game settings that hit 100 plus FPS at 1200p. If this helped, smash like, get subscribed, and I'll see you in the next one.